Hey everybody, it's Graham Elwood here with Bitcoin Hollywood, and I'm just interviewing people from other countries, Westerners, why they're living in Asia, why they're living in Thailand. I'm here with Lex Morales, who stand-up comic, comedy promoter. You brought me out here, the shows I did a year ago.
That's right, yeah.
At the Comedy Joint, and now you're doing more promoting stuff. We just did shows that you helped put together in Koh Lanta, which was really awesome. And you've been living here a while, so I just want to, because I've had a lot of these conversations sort of off camera.
Yeah.
And I realized this is something people need to talk and hear about because, and it's not just, oh, America's doing bad, we're all leaving. I don't know. There's people have, my friend Todd, I talked to him, interviewed him, he left, he came out here 10, 12 years ago, something like that. So at first I just want to hear first, your kind of, I would say origin story. What got you to Thailand and Asia? Was it? Give us what? Because it's rarely just like I decided.
American women.
Yeah.
No. It was.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah. Passport pros, bro. I was doing pretty decent comedy wise. I had just changed from like improv acting more to stand up.
You're from New York.
I'm from New York.
Okay.
But I was out in LA and I got hit by a drunk driver driving. I was driving on the 5 and somebody from behind me was just driving super fast, hit me I didn't even see it coming. And just all of a sudden I'm spinning, boom, hit the divider. And, I get out of the car and the car who was stopped behind me, I was like, are you okay? And he's like, I didn't get in the accident. I was like, who hit me? Like, what happened? And he goes, it was that guy. And the guy was trying to drive away. And so I literally got in front of him and he had insurance, luckily, right? So my car got paid, but I was not physically hurting. But I had put my head through the side window, and I didn't realize I had a concussion or something to that effect. Because over the next month, I started developing like agoraphobia. And because I didn't go to the hospital, the insurance wasn't going to cover any of the psychological, that sort of stuff. And at this time, I'm guessing this is probably like 2016. I don't have it written, because I came out here 2018, the end of 2018, and wasn't getting any support. My mental health was just dropping crazy. And so, to be honest, I'm listening to Joe Rogan at the time talking about hormones and CT. What is it? The concussions.
Oh wow, CTE.
Yeah, CTE and. Concussions and how when you get a concussion your hormones might get fucked up, and my brain I was just so depressed and so hurting that I was like but America, I couldn't get I couldn't get tested. So I had money saved up to go to Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and my partner who was doing the show was like hinted at maybe not, like he wasn't too keen on it. He was the one who inspired me to do it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to use that money to go to Thailand, get my blood work done, find out if I need this or not.
So you had to come here for medical reasons.
Literally, that's why I came. To just check my blood, find out if it was...
Richest country in the history of the world.
Amazing. And I used to do insurance, so I knew when talking to them, trying to play the game, and they just shut me down at every angle. But that was it. I literally thought, if it doesn't work, I'm just walking into the jungle, and I'm just... And honestly, kind of
really, you were that just because of what you were going through physically, mentally.
I couldn't, you'd be depressed before, and you do all the things to get it right. But when I got it tested, whatever our age at the time, this is 7 years ago, a normal human man should have 600, 700 count of the T cells in your blood, and I was like under 180. And the doctor was like, this is why he's like, you're right. And so right then, I started doing testosterone replacement, like just shots. Just like, at first he put me on a different dose, but now, because I didn't need it to get big or anything, it was just to balance out. And literally within, a month and a half, I'm kind of normal. It was all of a sudden it was normal, and then, I obviously started helping me with health too, getting I'm actually off it now, which I should probably go back on because I'm just getting fatter, but also but for whatever reasons I just got lazy with it. But I found the right balance so that it wasn't like I was trying to get jacked I just wanted mental clarity. And that was the real inspiration to it. And then when you get here, you start seeing, I'd never thought about, you hear these stories of Thailand and how different it is. So the novelty of it, and, that was fun. And there was a decent, there was a little comedy scene, so I still got to be able to perform. But I didn't think about staying here. I thought about getting healthy. That's kind of why I
So you're
stuck
sort of
around.
like, get healthy, go back to the States.
And then go back. And so my plan was, let me go be here for 2 years and stay. And then when COVID happened, that's what made me grow roots. And that's why I'm still here. Because,
you couldn't leave. You had
couldn't
to stay.
leave. Yeah, what was it going to do going back there? What and the way they were doing it too. Like it was here. I mean, you can't argue because you're a guest. And maybe that justifies it. They had lockdowns, but the lockdowns it was pretty comfortable and convenient. It wasn't bad at all.
And everyone in Asia is everyone. I mean, I remember the first time I traveled through Asia in 2003. SARS had hit, and people were wearing masks. It wasn't this like, "No, that's my right." They were just like, "Hey, wear a mask." Like, if people are still wearing masks on the train, I don't think it's because of COVID. I think it's because of the
pollution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or this is what, when I first got here, it was some people would wear it because of the pollution, because this place is rough, Bangkok. But also, if they're sick, that's the 90% of the people I see who are wearing masks, or when I've asked about it, is they're sick. And the mask actually, I mean, I don't think it helped with COVID. But it does help if you're to not spit out.
Yeah.
So they're very conscious about a responsibility towards the community, which I don't think we see in America, obviously.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Which America are you talking about?
Yeah.
The me America? No, that's one of the things I love about Asia too, is that part of the culture is the sense of community, the sense of the greater good, the sense of we're all in this together. The like me, I want to do this for me is like, whoa, that is not welcome here at all, and I like that a lot.
It's something that you miss. I mean, there's things, as a now colonizer, I joke about it, but there's things that you miss, and there's things that you think. And I remember there was a short time where I taught, and it's interesting how much reverence they give to teachers. And I'm an idiot. I'm not qualified to teach, but the way the students kind of idolize America, and probably Korea too, because we run media, right? And so you could see the younger generation embracing the individualism, And my fiance, her son, she's 14. She's Thai, and he's 14, and you could see that weirdness, where I've had that conversation with her, kind of trying to learn the culture more, and so. You see, like, I don't know the right balance, right? Because nobody's really figured it out yet. But that's something here that the appreciation, like the reverence for authority, I guess, might be, or just maybe age and experience, and without taking away the idea of the individual, because the individual is important. That's what makes the populace, right? So it's that weird balance. I don't know, because I've had those interesting conversations with her as to, like, what my initial thoughts are growing up in America, and then going, wait, but if once I say it, then I go, wait, but maybe you'll lose the goodness of what Thailand has, if that makes sense, right? I know I'm not using specifics, but we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't want this place to get too Western. I really want to, I like the fact that on a crowded train, I mean, I grew up in Chicago, I've spent a lot of time in New York. You grew up in New York.
New York, yeah.
I just, when I first got here and was like, all right, rush hour, I was just like in New York mode. Yeah. And everyone here is just like mellow and cool. Yeah, people at trains, but no one's pushing. No one's like, hey, excuse, none of that. And I was like, this is beautiful.
Very polite and looking to,
yes.
Put your head through.
When they walk past you, they're not like, excuse me. It's like, well, everyone's like.
Very polite.
It's so polite, and I really respect that.
Yeah, I think that's because they're respecting you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and they respect that my actions can impose on yours, right? So I don't know if it's maybe the authoritarian, because we are in a monarchy, right? So I don't know. I do see that, though. I think there's that mentality of, it's not like go, 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 go. They're very comfortable with, and that might also be Buddhism too, where they're comfortable with their station in life. It's crazy to see how happy my security guard is in
Yeah.
front of my condo.
Yeah.
He's having the best day. He is not hurting, even though financially he's got to be, when you hear how little that some of these guys get paid. But they're comfortable and they're not jealous or angry, or you don't see that. It's more about, when I see the anger, it's more about that they see the hypocrisy. Because there is hypocrisy here, just as in America. It's just that we lie to ourselves. I think in America, we talk about it like there's nothing to be able to do. And here maybe there's an agreement of like, we know you're here, we know you're here, but don't. And I know I'm here, but don't shit on me.
Yeah, don't put it in my face. Don't put it in my face. Yeah,
like,
yeah,
don't, rules apply to thee kind of thing. That I've seen that. I've seen that when they get a little angry as like a rich guy hurting somebody else. And then they're like, wait, like they're looking at the government to see, are you going to hold that person accountable? And usually they do. Not probably fairly, but at least there's something, that says make an appeasement.
So COVID hit.
Yeah.
You decided, was there even when COVID's done, I might go back, or did you just say that's it, I'm in?
Well, that's when I met my fiance. So then it was like, all right, because I was always planning on like going and leaving. And it was cool that I was like, oh, I'm developing enough roots where I know I could come back here whenever. And so once I met my fiance, I did go back to the States. Mm-hmm. And when I did, like once I could, I did go back to see what it was. Because the money here, when you're making this money, it's a challenge.
My friend that I just interviewed, Todd, he went back in April to LA for the first time in like 6 years, and he said he had sticker shock.
Yeah.
Because in the last 5 years, the cost of everything in the U.S. has gone way up, way up.
Bacon, egg, cheese sandwich in New York at a deli was maybe $5 it was like over 10, it was 12. There was a place where I went, it was $19.
For a sandwich.
For a bagel. It was a bagel though. It wasn't a Kaiser roll, It was a bagel, so, that extra $5. It just blew my mind, because it just, so quickly. Because I've been here 2018, so that's 7 years. And I had been back once in that first year. And so it was like a 3-4 year stretch where I didn't go back. And I was blown away by how expensive it was. And also, at least I'll say, when I got to New York, I went to New York and I went to LA. LA, it was under the bridges, the homeless.
Oh, the homeless thing is since COVID, the homeless problem has gotten so bad.
Crazy. And in New York, I know there's always been drugs and stuff like that, but I'd never seen like heroin. Like I saw
needles,
a needle in a dude's arm. It was like a movie of like a guy passed out. It was on the West Side by Jacob Javits Center, and the guy was just passed out in a broken down office chair, sleeping. And he literally had a needle in his arm.
I saw something twice this summer in Santa Monica that I have never seen in 20 years of living in Santa Monica, right?
Yeah.
So Santa Monica, for those who don't know, it's a cool little beach town, at least it was, right within Los Angeles. And I've lived there, I've lived in LA for 30 years, but I've lived in Santa Monica for 20. And it was like by the beach, it was this cool, and it still kind of has some of these things, but the homelessness and the drug problem, I saw twice.
Yeah.
On the streets of Santa Monica, which has always had a lot of homeless because it's the beach, and the city of Santa Monica has more facilities to help homeless, so they know this.
And the weather's nice. So
the weather's
sleep out, that's the thing. So you're not going to die outside.
Right. You can sleep on the beach, and there's showers at the beach, so the homeless guys like that or whatever. But the number of homeless people has gone through the roof. People living in their cars has gone through the roof because the housing costs are so high. But this is the thing I saw twice this summer within a 2-month span. Smoking meth or crack or whatever it was, probably meth.
Yeah.
And then seeing numerous pipes on the streets. I've never seen that, and never seen that in Santa Monica.
Wait, I didn't even think about this until we started talking, but the biggest thing that I thought made me feel like I lost home, because they say when you leave, you never get home back. But I'm pretty fucking liberal, I grew up in a conservative Christian cult, a Jehovah's Witness, but you're not involved in politics. But I think we watch it, right? Mm-hmm. So I wasn't, but when I came back, this is now, Biden was president, just became president, maybe in that first year. And I was just complaining about Biden and to my New York liberal friends. And they're like, what are you, a Trumper now? And I'm like, no, I'm just...
The current president is not doing a good job.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, he's doing the same stuff. A lot of the, the Mexican kids in cages kind of shit. You know, I was like, why are we not calling that out? And they wouldn't address the answer. They just projected, they were like, so what are you, a Trumper? And I'm like, no. I'm just saying, like, that was probably the best thing about Trump, was that they were so highlighted in all these horrible things that he was doing that there was, people getting in the way or
we're going away. We don't like this. Yeah, when Obama built the cages, Obama was nicknamed the deporter in chief.
Yeah.
No one was in this. Where was all the liberals protesting? Obama dropped more bombs than Bush. Where was the liberal protesting?
Yeah.
This is the thing, and this has gotten so bad in America that if I criticize the Democrats, I'm a Trumper.
That's I was blown away by that. That I was like, and I wasn't even, I guess it's critical, but it was like, can we hold them accountable? That's what you're looking to do, is just hold them accountable. I'm glad that there's somebody who's saying they're for me, but if they're not doing it, you have to voice it. And so even just me voicing it, and I'm not writing a letter to my senator, I was just talking to my friend. And there was this like uncomfortableness of having that conversation, which that was what blew my mind, is how polarized it had become. Where, I guess in New York, I'm Long Island, that's where, so there's a special type, there are more Republicans there, and they're more, it's a special type of racism, where they're like, I hate Muslims. And I'm like, well, what about, Muhammad, the guy who works right there? And he's
cool. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's one of the good ones.
Like, how many Muslims you know? He's like, well, just that one. I'm like, that's a good, what are we thinking here? But that happened all the time, so I was, aware of that as I got older. New York is a special place. It's a New York Republican, right? They're much more socially liberal. But the sifting between the two parties and the lack of accepting a third too, right?
Oh, crushing a third.
Yeah.
I mean, this last election, the 24 election, the Green Party was suing the Democrats in about half a dozen, maybe 6, maybe even more, 9 states, because the Democratic Party was actively blocking. The party that claims to be, we're to save democracy, was blocking democracy from happening.
Yeah.
If you're all about democracy, why are you threatened? Like, you and I like watching sports. It would be like if everyone was like, we got to prevent the Dodgers from getting into the playoffs.
That's what it seemed. Yeah.
Well,
that's when I guess that
the Dodgers are like, give me everyone you. If you're a great team, bring it.
Yeah. I want the challenge.
Yes.
I want the challenge.
If you're so good, if you're so confident in your conviction, it tells me the Democratic Party knows they're full of it.
That's it.
They know their base is fed up,
yeah.
And their whole stock and trade is, we're not Trump. You have to vote for us. Well, what are you going to do for me? I'm not Trump.
I was really scared when they were, it's just to get political, but I remember watching it here. I was like really scared of war happening. Yeah. And then the pipeline blew up, right? And mysteriously, it's like, no, it seemed so obvious what was happening. But that was like, it felt like that was some of the first things that they did, was just start a new war. And that was something that, honestly, I think now, I don't care about party, but it's like, who do I think will help not let people die so easy? We're all going to die, but, why are we making it easier?
We don't have to all die on the same day.
Yeah. And health insurance. Obviously, I care about health insurance, and you see all that stuff, and you hear how far behind we are, and none of the things that we really care about. When I was a teenager, and what is it called? Because you're smarter than me with this stuff. But identity politics.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I thought it seemed like a good idea. That's the amazing part about the Democrats, is very hard to, all good ideas, right? But then it's twisted and perverted to change it. So now I'm like, that's one of the worst things we ever did, was making it. It's like, I want to highlight the individual, growing up around and being a minority. I'm Puerto Rican, by the way. So that was another great thing about being in Thailand, is I'm white. No, I'm doing bits.
Yeah, no, I'm doing bits.
Yeah, I'm happy to be Puerto Rican, and I don't think there was only a handful of times that I actually felt racism in America, but it made me more aware of it. And I also got to see my friends live through that, some of the darker friends that I have.
Yep.
And it was interesting to see now that it's like some of my darker friends, that's bullshit. You know, that's bullshit. Like it only hurt them in a lot of ways, you know? So it's a
So let me ask
word.
you this now. You've been living here now 7 years.
Yeah, better part of 7 years.
You're engaged with a Thai woman. You know, you've had a business here. You're doing business here. What you really understand Thailand and Thai culture better
Better than I did. Yeah.
better than you did. Better than most of us who just show up here like
Yeah.
we only have this narrow view of what Thailand is. It's just elephants and lady boys or whatever. You know, whatever our view is.
The best part.
You know, we think everything is just like, you know.
No, I agree. I did too.
Yeah, I thought the whole city, all of Bangkok was going to be like Soy Cowboy or something.
Hangover 3 or whatever.
Yeah. And
monkey selling drugs. That's
Just
what I've been looking for, the monkey
drugs.
selling drugs.
Just
I just want one monkey to sell me drugs.
Sell me drugs with a
Yeah.
cobra. You've been here, you know, you're doing business with Thais. You're working with all of these Thai comedians, international comics.
Yeah.
You're really seeing, I mean, you help put me in touch with other promoters in other Asian cities. What is your sort of view now? Like, and about your life here, your quality of life?
It has changed. I mean, it has changed. It has changed. My perspective has changed because I got to. Good question is what I'm. But I could see that Thailand has changed also in this time because I think they saw, like a lot of people, there's an opportunity. So I can see financially that the infrastructure is growing, which, you know, you could see it even from here. You know, when you start seeing cranes throughout the city, you know how good it's growing. And I saw that even more so during that COVID time.
Like the BTS and the MRT, the subway and the SkyTrain are very efficient here.
Super efficient.
Really.
Always on time.
Yep.
You don't have to wait.
No.
It's like clockwork and clean.
Clean.
Obviously clean. And there's also, you know.
Good air conditioning on the trains?
Yeah.
Like cranks.
Yep. And even when it's busy or packed, it's not like Japan, those movies you see in Japan where people pushing you in and stuff. They could wait. What do I say? Going back to the question, was it a change or?
Well, what are you seeing? Well, how are you feeling 7 years later? Change in yourself, change in Thailand. How is your view? I mean, are you like
Worldview.
Worldview? Are you like never going back to America? Have you made that hard of a decision? Or are you still like I'm open to it? Or
I'm scared. Weirdly, I'm as scared as I was to come out here, like jump out of a plane, kind of like I don't know what's going to happen because I really tried to not do too much research when I came out. I kind of wanted to have this weird experience, so I really just was like bought a ticket, didn't even book a hotel for my first night. I like took a train, the MRT from the airport in, and I got off at where the most highest buildings were I was like, all right, this looks good. And I just started walking around the city until I found a place that I wanted to stay for
That's awesome.
Isn't that nuts?
I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just show up and go.
I had no real cares. I just, you know, like I said, the only thing I had planned was like a week later to go get my blood work done. That was it. So now I think there's, you know, I think weirdly enough, I have a bit of a fear. You know, when you talk to older guys who've been here even longer than me, and they're so complaining of the changes, because it is growing quick. You could see that there's a lot more people moving in an influx. And so you wonder how much of that is going to alter what we were talking about earlier, which is like the youth and what their priorities are. You know, are they going to embrace here's a little, like, you know, this is called the why.
Yeah.
And it's taught. If you could see little kids, if you ever interact with like a family who has a little baby, it's maybe even before they talk, they're doing this to their, you know, you make eye contact with the baby on the street and I'm making faces to try to make them smile, and the mom will put their hands together to do a Y.
Yeah.
And I know seeing the teenagers that they're not, like that's starting to change. And so you wonder how long is it going to be until that is like the full-on capitalism of like, you know, because it is, I think at this point now, I have become, I think I have been more aware of America's problems, seeing some of the things that we don't have. And it's sold like it's a good thing. Like the individualism, like the idea that you could do whatever like whatever you want, right. and no judgment, no social. You're judging me, you're making a scene at Walmart, and I'm not crazy. Okay, it's like no, you're actually crazy.
You need to be judged right now.
Yeah, and you might even be right, but it's not going to work out.
Probably not though.
Probably it's good for yeah. So those are the things I could see. Shops, when we were kids, when we were younger, mom and pop stores. Now we're seeing bigger and bigger things, right? So the idea of like you have a good restaurant, how quickly can I replicate that and make it into a chain? And those are the things that I could see more and more of, I could, those are the things where you go, how much, I guess, this is where you really, when I'm on acid, you think about 50 years from now and you're wondering like how much, like, it's the internet and connection and the world is getting smaller. So like, why come to Thailand if we're going to have McDonald's everywhere? Right?
Right. I don't want to come here to try Thailand McDonald's. I want to come here to have Thai street food and
Yeah, and I know, that's kind of it. The music, right? Like what is culture? Like at the core almost in some ways, I never thought of it, but it's like food, music, entertainment. And that's when I joke about me being a colonizer because I didn't realize it before, but stand-up is a new art form here. And they only have literally one famous person, and now there's maybe 30 Thai comics working on it, almost all open micers. There's only maybe like 5 to 7 that I'd say are professional level comics. And I'm like, when I'd hang out at the Thai Comedy Club, I was quiet to watch them perform, and I didn't want to influence them. And then towards more as I got involved, I was like, I wonder if I could, you're doing it a little wrong, you know, but they're going to get there naturally. So I quieted up. But I wonder how much am I doing that when I do a New York style comedy club? Like you saw the joint when I was there. It's like, this is so different from where the Thais were used to performing and yeah. So I was like, how much?
That's not a bad thing necessarily because
I justified it with stand-up because you're like
it's self-expression.
Well, that's the individual. It's individual too. No, but I was trying to put it in a situation where you don't have distractions. That's all. It's a black box. It was like very simple, made up, and you're not in a bar. You're not with all these lights, and it was just like focused on this. So it was trying to clean out because it's a hard gig to get everybody to focus up for an hour. Yeah. So that's all. I don't think I was really doing it that bad. And I always hired Thai people and I paid them more, about 50% more than what they would have anywhere else. But even stuff like that, I remember getting grief from because because expectations, you're altering expectations of people. Does that make sense? Like my girlfriend would give me shit about tipping decently. I was probably over tipping. And then now I'm still tipping, but it's at a lot lower of a rate, which is not
because I heard culturally, it's like if you tip too much, it's like, oh, Mr. Big Shot, you think you're.
I think it's I heard that too. It's not so much in Thailand because their whole economy is so based on Westerns coming in here now, so they're used to it. But it affects there's people who like and you probably experienced this, like taxis who won't take you somewhere because they don't want to use the meter. Right? Like those are the small alterations. The expectations, which is like in America, and to be honest, tipping culture, the math says it's not good. The people who pay them, right? So it's in your head, you're like, all right, well, I want to express my generosity. I also want to help Thailand and these people financially better. But then I don't want somebody, a restaurant to impose this minimum wage and I know you're getting tips, so I'm going to pay you less kind of bullshit, right? Does that make sense? I don't know how much, that's in just the tipping culture. So that's just a minor thing, but those are the influences that we grew up naturally, you don't want here in a weird way, because does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think there's because a lot of people are leaving Western countries. I mean, America, the tourism is way down. I know of several people that have left.
Yeah.
There's a lot of industries that are hurting. And the thing is, what also is the appeal of coming to Asia or any like developing type country or Latin America, if you can make Western wages online, then you have an amazing life here because now it's like you make, I mean, 2-3 grand a month here, you live really well. So if you're making $5 grand a month on on an online job, you're living. That's the equivalent of probably making $15,000 or $20,000 a month in LA or something.
I don't mind saying I've made for the last 2 years since I opened up when I opened up the club, I was making 50,000 baht, which is that's what I paid myself, and that is the equivalent of like $1,500. That's it, and I lived in a relative like 20-year-old condo, but on the 34th floor. That had a pool. Yeah. That had a gym.
That was built. That was the building you put all the comics in. That was I was like, wow, this is.
Yeah, and it was paying. Each room was about $300 a month. About that. So yeah, when you do the, what do they say? You have to make about 4 times more than what you live in. So I thought I could afford, and I did, and I survived in it. I'm not crushing it. I'm taking motorbikes, and I'm eating a lot of street food and stuff like that, but I'm also living way better than my security guard, who is happier than me.
And your quality of life is better than it would be in New York or LA.
It would, totally. Because there also was, I own my own time. That's another thing. That's a huge thing for anybody, I think. So I was very lucky like that, and I still do. That and I would say too, some of the rules, like just the visas and how they want you here, so. They try, even though they love paperwork and you have to do this, for them to complain. I remember once having to do a visa run to Laos, and I took a overnight bus there, and you go there, get it stamped, come back, just to extend my stay. This is before I had a working visa and stuff. And I thought, imagine if America allowed you to just go over to Canada, let somebody from Saudi Arabia or I don't know, Africa, whatever African country, and just go to the border, do a border run.
Yeah, go to Tijuana,
get a stamp, and then just go back for another 2 or 3 months, and that's fine, and that's just part of the business. Like never. So they're accommodating. They want you. They want you here. They want you here. Which is nice.
Because again, like if you're
I'm an immigrant.
Yeah, we're immigrants. We're both immigrants, and. I was a foreigner in a country as a child. We lived in Germany for a year when I was a kid, and that was largely a negative experience for me. There were some positive things, but I've been a foreigner. I've been the outsider many times in my life.
Yeah.
Moving from Wisconsin to Chicago when I was 11, and my junior high was 60% black.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all peace and love, Mr. Rogers.
That was me growing up. Yeah.
It was like
neighborhood I grew up in New York.
So it's like. All right. Well, as we wrap up here, man. So, where do you see it? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? No, but just like, I don't know. How do you, since you're really
back on testosterone?
You get back on testosterone. Hit the gym, Lex. Let's go. I don't know what. I know you're working on some stuff. I don't know what you're comfortable talking about, but like, business life.
It is a challenge. Yeah. That's one of the things that I have found here. The business, to get to that tier of executives there's such a separation class. So, and they're not used to, like, I'm used to, I was the CEO of the club. So to go in and knock on doors was weird for, I wasn't used to that. Like they thought I was a lower level and above, like I wasn't at their level to have a conversation. So I've learned that, but it's trying to, business made it weird. Business is different. You do have to learn that in a little bit. But again, accommodating. I would love to. I think comedy is in a boom. We see that in the States, and it's spilling out to everywhere. And I love seeing that. I would love to see a famous Thai comedy like that. Yeah. At that point, if I see somebody that I saw come up, and they're now doing Netflix, then I go, all right, maybe I can go somewhere else, or I don't know. But I love it. I love it here. I never thought I'd be in a warm country. Being in New York, I love the seasonal changes. And again, like Vietnam, they say economically more
Right, it's doing a little better.
doing better.
Yeah.
But I think the people here is what really keeps me here. The Thai people are really dope. They're just good people. And it, to me also, I'm still attracted to the novelty of the weirdness, that it's different, you know? I would like to start learning to speak Thai a bit better, because you motherfuckers keep showing up, more people, and I'm losing my Thai. I can't speak it, so, you know, I'm really getting spoiled here. And I found a good bagel place. I found it, you know, so.
That, where?
It's nuts. Yeah, there's a almost decent pizza place and a pretty decent, you know, so all the.
You took me to a Mexican restaurant. I was like, all right, this ain't California Mexican, but it's enough. It's enough to shake it up.
It's Tex-Mex. It was Tex-Mex. It wasn't. Yeah, but it's.
There was no Latinos in the kitchen, but that was
that.
That was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll cut you that slack.
Yeah,
We're in Asia.
I'm curious to see what it does. I wish there's something I miss. I do miss America. I'm an '80s kid, which is like idolized. Like they really, there's a standard, and I'm a moralist, and it's sad to see hypocrisy, and that's what I'm scared of most here, right? Because at least the hypocrisy is so far to the highest of extents, right? Not in any kind of gravity that I live in, right? People are held accountable. So, but in America, it's weird. I'm a big believer in the fourth turning, that book. I think we talked about it too. And I think I might just wait it out. And in 2035, you know, maybe in a decade from now, this will all be sorted, you know, and we'll see.
Let's hope. Let's hope it's all sorted in a decade.
I'm not as hopeful, but I am a Bitcoin fan, so in that.
You're on the right place. You like Bitcoin, as do I.
And by the way, that was also, and I know this is towards the end of it, but that was much more accepted out here, and in Vietnam, and that and Korea massively, which I haven't been to, but I know it was fascinating to see how scared America was of cryptocurrency, and how well it was adopted here, and not enough. And I'm scared that they're going to do a CBDC here, which I'm sure they will. Yeah. But, you know.
Yeah, there is a big I've been to a couple of Bitcoin meetups since I've been in Bangkok, and I was really impressed with. There is a big Bitcoin community here. Yeah. There's if you go to, I think it's bitcoinmap.com or .org. The power just went out. But there's a whole lot of businesses in Bangkok that accept Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. And
Smart.
so there's a lot, and there's a bunch of young Thai developers.
Yes.
Thai Bitcoin developers, and they're hungry kids that are let's build stuff.
They could see there's an optimism.
They get it. Yeah, that's the thing I love about Bitcoin in general. I've said it a lot. There's so much optimism in Bitcoin,
and we need that now.
It's so dark.
Yeah, right.
That's one of the things I like about being out here. I've been in Asia 2 months now. Is all this positivity and everything, and that's what I love about the Bitcoin. When I was in El Salvador last year for 2 months, a year and a half ago now, everyone was positive. And you can say Bitcoiners are nuts or it's a cult or whatever, but everyone's happy and positive, and everyone's forward thinking. This is fixing things. This will fix this problem and that problem. And those are the kind of people I want to be around.
Me too.
Even if they're a little nuts.
Yeah.
I'd rather be around them than everything's forget it. We're all crying.
It's a different type of nuts the other way, and that is self-defeating.
Yeah.
I'm an optimist. I want to see it work out. You know, so it's nice.
And when you're around, it's when you go from this day-to-day stress and negativity to by and large people polite and positive, I just feel it, man. I am I'm not as about every little thing.
Shoulders down.
Shoulders down.
Yeah.
And then when something happens that's sort of because efficiency is not in Thailand. It's not their thing. It's not their thing. Yeah. So when you're sort of used to that American efficiency and it doesn't work and they're just sort of part of me wants to get annoyed, but then I just go,
It's a trade-off.
It's a trade-off.
That's
because
a trade-off.
In America, when things don't work, you're already stressed. So you're why isn't this working? I need this thing and I got to bill it. And then there's all this stuff stacks up.
Yes.
So the little thing becomes a big thing, where here,
it's not as much pressure, so it's not
it's a one-off thing. It's just all right, this thing didn't, they got to program my door. It's a keypad. I had to schedule it. The guy showed up yesterday, and I never heard him knock on the door. So I don't know if he just politely so what you got? And then I get a text saying that you weren't there, and I was no, I was there. And that's the kind of thing that if this was America, I'd be like, so I got to go back down to the office and reschedule, tell the guy to knock like a man, you know, like, and instead, you know, instead I'm just like, okay, we'll just reschedule it, no big deal, because look at this view.
Oh yeah, crazy.
Look where we're at. Like, there's the river. I mean, this is just.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it's.
There's a lot, and for this big a city, a lot of green.
A lot of green.
A lot of green.
Like, and all these buildings, the Airbnb I was at had green spaces on the roof.
Yes.
They all have green spaces on the roof.
I think they think about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I hope so, because it seems that way. But I think they're aware. Walking on the BTS, you know, I was by M-Sphere and UBI Center, and they just walking on the path. It's the elevated part of this path, and they planted, since I've been there, greenery.
Green.
And it really does help you mentally.
Yes. It's a thing that it's harder to find in New York.
That's where
They've built some new things. That one down on the Lower East Side.
Lower East Side. Yeah.
And,
on the train track.
Yeah, the old train track.
Yeah.
And when they did that, you felt there's this cool space in Manhattan where there's.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference when you're in a massive city.
Yes.
This is a city of
need it.
18 million people?
I think less, but it's close, right? Last I saw it, I think it was like around 12 to 14. So
okay, that's still a
huge. Bigger than New York.
Yes,
it's bigger than New York.
Yeah,
I know that. So yeah, it makes a big difference.
Cool.
And how many of these little places, little shops? It looks like you're walking to the jungle. It's amazing.
I know.
And there's a highway, 2 blocks away, but then you don't hear it. You don't hear and I think you don't hear you don't hear the bad traffic, but it's not angry.
The horn honking here is, heads up on your left. It's not, hey.
It's I'm about to, because this is it is a bit of a bit, but I'm about to do something fucked up. You know, it's like look out, not hey fuck you for doing that.
Yeah.
It's more like I might kill somebody, but I'm going to try it.
This is such a tight thing. This guy comes up, it was rush hour. He comes up on the sidewalk with his motorbike. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah. And he just like bowed.
He just did a little, sorry, I know what I'm doing.
Sorry, I know this is messed up. I know this is wrong. And I was like, okay, so what's the crap? I give him the why, we're all good.
We're all in agreement. That was kind of weird, but yeah, cool.
You owned it? I'm good.
I'm
Nobody
good.
got hurt.
It's kind of what you want, right?
Just own it.
That's it.
In America, nobody owns it.
Yeah, fuck you.
I'm right.
Yeah.
Don't
judge me.
90% of fights are because someone just can't go, my bad.
That's it. Really, I agree with you.
That's all you got to say.
That's it. Just, I could see why you're angry. Even that.
Man, my bad.
Yeah.
If the guy won't accept the apology and he escalates it, then it's on him.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry. I've had some people get really mad. I go, I'm so sorry. Well, you shouldn't have done that. I know, you're right. Then they keep going, and I go, I don't know what more you want me to do. I've apologized to you 3 times.
It'll never happen again. Hopefully, we'll never see each other.
Yeah.
Let's just go. Yeah, calm down, brother. I get it.
And and you just don't see that here. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
thank you,
Lex, brother. Thank you for talking, man.
I love that you're enjoying Thailand, man. It's honestly a little proud too to see more people who come and check it out.
When I came here a year ago, it was my first, I'd been to other parts of Asia, but Thailand is such a unique animal.
It is.
It's such a different vibe on a lot of levels that I wasn't quite, and I thought maybe I could live here, and I was like, I don't know. I wasn't sure if this was my thing, and I had to go back, and there's a bunch of stuff I had to do in LA, and then the fires hit, and all this stuff had to go down that I had to stay for, and I'm glad I stayed. I'm really glad I stayed an extra year. But now it's sort of like, and when I first got here 5 weeks ago, I was like, maybe I'm just going to come to Bangkok for a month, and I don't know, I'm a beach guy. I was like, maybe I'll go, but I was just, I don't know, it's really vibing. There's all this excite, and you said you go, Graham, we had lunch like the third day I was here, and you're like, thing about Bangkok, if you hustle, stuff happens. Like you start moving, and my buddy that I just talked to, Todd, was saying the same thing. He goes, you if you move your feet in Thailand, stuff comes together.
As fast as you're used to, you get so much more stuff done. But what's nice is it's only your choice.
Yes.
It's not pressure.
Yes.
It's not survivability. It's just like, this is what I'm used to anyway. Let me do this. It took me a minute to realize that, but it's not like I have this over.
Well, you don't have a gun to your head.
No, and so it's a choice to go, I want to work this hard because I enjoy the work, and then all of a sudden things are working.
I like getting up and I want to hustle all day. because I know at the end of the day I can go to my rooftop pool, or I can go out to dinner and have an amazing meal for $7 or whatever.
I know.
All right, let's hustle. Let's get
Yeah.
the hustle going.
That's right.
Well, thank you, Lex
Thank you,
Morales.
yeah.
Where can people find you on social media?
Fun with Lex on all social media. I'm trying to have fun. So
At Fun with Lex. Check them out, and if you come to Thailand, there's great shows to watch.
thank you.
Like, share, subscribe, do all that.